Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and today I'm going on a different type of adventure. Last video I went on a little bit of a camping trip. I didn't end up actually staying out that night, but basically I went out with my minimalist on-foot gear, barefoot, into the desert, and came back that night because the dogs followed me and they hadn't eaten breakfast, and they also weren't going back home for dinner, so I had to walk them back. It's evening now, so basically I've let my solar bike charge up in the sun using these folding solar panels, and I'm going to take this someplace quite a bit farther away where I found some running water in a nice secluded spot back last spring basically. And around here, if there's water running in the spring, it doesn't mean that there's going to be water running in the fall. So basically I want to know if the water's still running, because that's really important information for me. So I'm going to run up there tonight, I'm going to sleep there tonight, and maybe I'll do some scouting over the next couple of days, or maybe I'll come back tomorrow. We'll just see how it goes. So here's the folding solar panels, which will go into these side pouches on the bike here. Got my bedroll strapped up to this front rack. Works pretty good. I think I'm going to try and attach my drop leg bags, which would go on either side of my legs basically and hold all my food. I'm going to try and attach them to the side of this. We'll see how that goes. Okay, there she is, all loaded up. These fit pretty good on here. Seem pretty secure. You know, you don't want them like flying over and getting up in your wheel, but it seems like they wouldn't really budge. Basically it's just wrapping around the bottom of the battery here. There's the other one. And then I've got my backpack on, and of course my belt and my phone pouch. And like I said, bedroll and my food. And that's basically all I need. So let's get rolling. It is a lot easier hauling all this stuff with an electric bike. Ooh, that's a lot of wind. Is this mic making that wind not so bad? But when you have to come up a hill like this, I don't know, this probably doesn't look that steep to you. This is super steep. You have to walk it up, and it does take the wind out of you. And then I got to go down another hill and then go out exploring the desert out there. I'm about 5 miles in, and I took a wrong turn a little ways back, so I'm gonna have to backtrack. I think I have enough time to get where I'm going before sunset. You can see the sun's starting to get a little bit low in the sky. But the nice thing about living the way I do is really I could just stop anywhere, sit down and camp. And the only downside of that is I won't have any water, but I basically drank a bunch of water before I left just in case I didn't make it, or when I got there, you know, there's no water. So anyway, it's time to backtrack. All right, back on track. We were at 5 miles total when we turned around, and we're at 6.1, so about 1.1 miles having to go backwards, so backtracking. But basically, now I'm on the right road here, much bigger road, that's nice, but it's also a little bit sandy, so you do have to be careful, especially with a lot of heavy load that's up high on sandy roads, because the tires tend to slip out to one side if they get caught on kind of a little bit of a bank. So go slow and maybe keep your feet out to the side in case you suddenly fall, you can catch yourself. Okay, we're about 8 miles in, and the bike stopped working because I think the hub here is overheating. If I put my finger on it, it basically burns me. So I'm gonna sit here in the shade for a few minutes. It's not a good time for this to happen because we're about to go uphill for a long time. And that's when this thing's gonna get even hotter, so might not make it up there tonight, but we'll see how it goes. So you see we've gone 8.3 miles. The battery still says it's full. It's not actually full, but it was probably only about 90% full when I left anyways, and it still says it's full, so it's a testament to how much storage the battery that I made for this thing has. All right, the sun has gone down. Bike still overheating, and about a half mile to go to get to the top of this hill. Now once I get to the top of the hill, then I could probably almost coast all the way. It's like another 1.5 miles or something to the water source, so I think I can make it. Generally I don't like to travel on the bike after sunset because fast-moving vehicles tend to attract, or fast-moving things tend to attract things like cougars when they're hunting at this time, and also in the morning right before sunrise. But I'm so thirsty. It's not like I actually need water, but I want it. So I'm gonna risk it. So if you see this video, I didn't get eaten by a cougar. So half mile, quarter mile left to go. One nice feature about this bike, if you hold down the down key, you can see it'll start moving. Basically that's walk mode. It's a little hard to do with only one hand, but that's basically how I'm going the rest of the way up this hill. All right, that is pretty much the steepest part right there. Probably hard to tell, but I think that little apex there is pretty close to the end of this slog. I made it. Now it's just a mile and a half that way. And if you climb hills, you get to see the sunset twice. Well, here's where the water would be. No! Oh well. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Okay, so we went. Yeah, you can't really see it, huh? Come on, camera. There we go. Went almost 11 miles. Battery's down a little bit. Nice thing about the bedroll is it's really quick to deploy, so I can just lay down and go to sleep. And I'm not really worried about the water. Like I said, I drank water a few hours ago and I've gone almost 48 hours without water. And I know personally a couple of people who've gone like 3 or 4 days without eating or drinking anything at all. So it's not really true that you will die within 2 days without water. In fact, I think you can go quite a bit past 4 days. So I'm gonna be fine. It's just, it would have been so pleasurable to drink cold water after walking up those hills. So anyways, I'll just have to look forward to it when I basically go back home. So I'm gonna go a different way than I came. So I'll be actually taking some paved roads after a little bit, going the other way. Then I'll hit some paved roads and then I'm just gonna coast downhill all the way back home. And then I'm gonna put some delicious water in my mouth. It's gonna be great. All right, I'm gonna go to bed so that happens sooner. It's like Christmas, you know? You wanna go to sleep so you can wake up earlier, wake up sooner, you know? Anyways, good night.
Good morning, everyone. You can see the sun has come up. It's getting nice and warm. It got pretty cold last night. I'm quite a bit higher than I usually am, so that makes sense. But I had to put on my fleece jacket and get my winter quilt out in the early morning. In case you don't know, it's always coldest basically when, basically right before the sun comes up, because that's when it's been the longest since the sun was shining on it. So that's when it was the coldest. And then I went back to sleep. It took me a while to fall asleep last night, actually. I think I was kind of amped up from all of the physical exercise that I was doing, so I was just basically laying here for 2 hours. But it's pretty nice, very peaceful. There's a lot of good smells. There's some kind of plant around here. I don't know what it is. It might be this guy right here. Oh, right, there's flowers right there. Whatever, something around me smells really good, and it's quiet, and the stars were out. The moon was out, so it was nice. And also, I'm not thirsty anymore. There's something I think about through half the night. Like, I even had some dreams where I was like drinking water in my dreams, but there was I think there's a fair amount of moisture up here, and so by halfway through the night I wasn't really thirsty anymore, and I don't feel thirsty. But I still think I will head back unless I can look at the map and find another place where I can get some water. But we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna pack up my stuff and get moving. So I'm all packed up, ready to go. I did find a water source that I could go explore, but it's far enough away and the place has enough area that I would need a long time to actually thoroughly explore that area. I think I'm just gonna head down, charge the bike,
and I have someone's phone coming that I'm going to be de-googling in a day or two here, and on my way to drop it off at the post office is kind of on my way up here, so I think I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to basically just head down the mountain, get some well water in my mouth, and I did figure out which plant was smelling so good, and if you get really close to it, it smells amazing. As you can see, it's this guy right here. Get close to the leaves or whatever they are, and it's extremely strong smell. And it's almost like a tree. The woody part is so big. Does anyone know what this guy is? I'm sure Jesse and Johanna know. Really nice area. I like how there's much more trees, especially off that direction. The roads are also pretty bad. Like, you would have a hard time without four-wheel drive getting past this part, and this isn't even close to the worst of it. But of course, the bike can easily handle this, and so I can get to places that most people can't. You know you're getting close to civilization when you got some barbed wire fences. Something to know. So this is the type of fence that they generally put over basically a road that you're allowed to pass, because you can just take it up, hook it back up here. So you slip it, the bottom post in there, and then you slip this over the top post, which I would be doing, except it was left like this, and last time I was here it was like this too, so I assume this is basically to keep cows out. And I assume people aren't ranching up here anymore, so no one cares to put the fence back. And also you should know that basically you can cross under any fence that you want as long as it doesn't say no trespassing on it, right? People put fences up, you know, to mark their property sometimes, but also they sometimes put up barbed wire fencing, or are allowed to put up barbed wire fencing out in public land specifically to keep their cows from getting into certain areas. And basically, like I said, if it doesn't say no trespassing, the fence doesn't mean anything to you except an inconvenience getting past. Sweet, sweet paved road. I stopped on the road here because I saw some apples on the ground. Looks like there's an apple tree. I don't think this is anyone's property, so I'm gonna feast. Apple water. Okay, I ate a lot of apples. Now I'm kind of full a little bit. Got some apples stuck in my throat. I could use some water. Just got home. Jesse got home at the same time as me. He had just gone out to do some stuff, so I opened the gate for him. And also my new thermals are here. This is my base layer, my brand new wool base layer for this coming winter. And now it is sacred water time. Look at that. There's just water sitting here waiting. Oh, there were some bugs in there that I had to say. One of them was still alive. I'm still gonna drink it.